Hey, this is Joe, and welcome back for another video. In this video, I'm going to show some footage of us continuing to do demolition on the inside of the bus. So let's roll the footage. What I found is a lot of the rivets across the bottom get rusted, and then you can't pop the pins out of the rivet. So in those cases, what I do is just use my grinder and knock the heads off the rivets. Then we can come in with the air hammer and poke them through. The ones where you can knock the heads off, and then you can come in with a sharpened chisel bit and you can knock the heads off rather easily. Let me give you here a demonstration on how we're going to do that. And as you can see, by just hitting the rivets with the pins knocked out, they're pretty easy when you sharpen the bit up. I use a belt sander, and it works really nice, getting a nice sharp section on that chisel. So that's basically how I do it. The other ones where I can't get the heads out, it would take way too long to chisel those out. So I just grind them off with the grinder. What I've also found out is after I knock the pins out of the rivets, get yourself some 3/16 El Cheapo Harbor Freight drill bits. Titanium is good. Then you can get a good start. If the rivets are flush, the drill isn't going to grab and it's going to be really hard to drill the pins out. But if the pins have dropped down, then it's real easy just to stick your drill in and go through, and that will pop the rest of those pins out of the rivets. Then it's really easy to come along with your chisel and knock them out. And again, I'm going to show you how to use your grinding bit or grinding disc with the angle grinder to come in and knock off those heads on the ones that are just way too stubborn to either drill out or knock out with the air hammer. Whenever you're using an angle grinder, always make sure you wear a shield. Don't wear just safety glasses. I've seen videos where that grinding disc will explode, and I've seen pictures of actually guys walking around after, and that grinding disc, when it explodes, actually impacts itself and goes in through the face shield here. So you don't want that sticking into your head or your cheek. So it may protect your eyes, but it's not going to protect your face. So always use a full face polycarbonate shield when you're using an angle grinder. Otherwise, you're going to be having a grinding disc sticking out of your forehead. Now you can come along, either use your air hammer or just a mallet, steel mallet, and your chisel bit. And notice you can very easily knock the head of that rivet right off. What I've done is taken the grinder and all of the rivets along the bottom have pretty much all been ground out now. The other side of the side panels, the rivets were extremely rusted, so I could not knock any of them off with the chisel. I had to grind them completely and take the pointy chisel and punch the rivets through to the back. So this one was very difficult. What we're doing now is we're starting to work on the ceiling rivets. Let me show you those. As you see along here, we've had to take the grinder and grind off their very small rivets. So it was just quick and easy to take the grinder, grind those rivets off. Now what we're doing, up top here, we're using a hand chisel to pound off the rivets. What I found out, I have a 27-gallon 4.0 SCFM compressor at 90 psi. So it just is not working. I can hit 1 or 2 rivets and then the thing has to recycle for 10 minutes. So it's just pretty useless for knocking rivets off. So I'm just using a hammer and a chisel and knocking them off. And the ones that are really difficult, then I'm just using the grinder to knock off. So I'll show you when we get ready to pull the panels. I'll show you how we're going to do that. We have almost all of the sheet metal out of the inside of the bus. We have a little bit left on the doors and in the back, as you see there. Let me pan around and show you what it looks like. We have all the ceiling off and we have all of the sides. Notice the lift in the back has been unbolted and laid on its side. Now I have to go get the engine hoist and we'll try to lift that out and remove it from inside the bus. Almost all of the side panels are off. Again, I have a little bit left in the rear lift door to remove. Let me swing the camera around now the other way, show you from the other side. The progress that we've made so far has just been a little over 2 weeks of work, and that's right from when we first picked up the bus. Using the grinder, I use the grinder in most cases, but even that takes a long time per rivet. So I found that it was quicker to just again using a chisel and a hammer to pound it off, but the amount of effort it took was quite a bit. So it was very time consuming and very laborious to get all the rivets off. At this point, what we're going to do is start yanking out all of the insulation, and then I'm going to come in and get the engine hoist, lift the lift out, and then I'm going to remove the remaining panels in the rear of the bus.